NBA Cup continues, and the Boston Celtics are currently in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., to take on the Washington Wizards. The Celtics look to go 2-1. The Washington Wizards look to get their first win on the NBA Cup. Listen, we're going to recap some things, and we're going to preview this upcoming game, Celtics versus Wizards. What's going on, Celtics World? It's your host, the Wayne Breezy, live from the Celtics World Podcast channel right here on YouTube. Go ahead and hit that like button. And if this is your first time watching, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And again, welcome to Celtics World. You can also follow on Instagram at Celtics World Podcast. That's where we'll be posting news updates, as well as here on YouTube. All right, as well as here on YouTube. Listen, I want to kick today's show off with just a quick recap of what the Celtics are actually looking like. We know that they got a chance to hand the undefeated Cavs at the time their first loss, 120-117 in regulation. The Celtics are currently sitting at 12-3. That was the Celtics' first win in the NBA Cup. All right, and that made the Celtics improve to 1-1. Remember, their first loss was against the Atlanta Hawks, who currently sit at the top of the cup at 2-0, and they handed the Cavs their first loss, as well as on the season, as well as in the NBA Cup. So it's the same thing. So the Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers are sit at 500 at 1-1, again with the lead of the Atlanta Hawks at 2-0. Now the Celtics get an opportunity on today to improve to 2-1 in the NBA Cup, and they want to do this in great high fashion. And when I say that, they want to blow the heck out of the Washington Wizards, because as you know, that point differential thing kicks in, and if the Celtics can get a blowout win, this improves their chances. This improves their chances. Now, we'll get to the game for sure, but just wanted to give everybody a quick recap. That game was amazing. It came down to the end. Celtics really dominated the game. The Cleveland Cavaliers never, ever once led in the game or commanded in the game. They did push amount to the comeback. The Celtics had like a 20-point lead at one point, and the Cavs definitely pushed their way back into the game, but the Celtics closed out and did what they do best, and they won that game 120-117. Now, the Celtics did fly out to the nation's capital, or drove, or whatever. I'm hoping they flew, even though it's not that far of a drive. If they decided to get on a team bus, they visited the White House. They got a chance to meet current President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, etc. I know that these guys had a great time. I'm sitting there watching the pictures and everything on Instagram, and that's our Celtics right there, man, just looking and kicking and having a good time. You can see the coaches down there. You can see Wick right there in front. Jaylen Brown with the cheesy smile. I don't know who the hell Luke Cornett is looking at. They clearly aren't looking at the camera, the picture, the person taking the picture, but they're there. This is your 2023 NBA champions, the Boston Celtics. And I can tell you, look, as great as the Celtics look, regardless of their 3 losses on the season, I just feel like there's not a team in the NBA that can beat the Celtics in 4 games. And when I think about the Celtics in playoff form, you might get them a game. You might get them 2 games. Hell, you can get them 3 games, but then you got to win 4. And I think that's where the Celtics come in, and they just dominate. They're a very well-coached team by Coach Joe Mazzulla, but very happy to see these guys get to celebrate at the White House. They took the tour, got to answer questions. They handed Joe and Kamala some nice. They had the jerseys are fire. I want my own personalized jersey. I wish the Boston Celtics would come up to me and be like, "Here, Breezy Brown, here's your personal custom made jersey that I signed too. Got to sign it, because then I'll never wear it. If they don't sign it, I'm putting that junk on. If they do sign it, I'll never wear it. I'll never wear it for sure. But listen, it is really cool. Now listen, I am sponsored by Residency. Guys, go to www.residency.com. All right. Use that promo code SF Breezy. All right, use the promo code SF Breezy. You can see it right there in the bottom of that banner, right? You can save. They got the cool Boston, the B hats. You know what I'm saying? Stands B for Breezy, B for Boston, however you want to look at it. Beantown. Go ahead and get the joints, man. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, all that stuff. And if you want to save, they got a sale going on right now. So if you want to save on there, go ahead and take advantage of their sale this weekend and use that promo code SF Breezy. All right. Now, let's get back to the Boston Celtics and whatnot. This upcoming game is going to be. Now the Celtics should win this game. They haven't lost to this team. I was looking at the last five times they played this team, they had one close game. Now I don't want to sit here and say that the Washington Wizards, even though they're sit at 2-13, I believe that's the record as of right now on the season. I don't want to sit here and say that this team, 2-11. I don't want to sit here and say that this team is a cakewalk. Usually when the Celtics play teams that are inferior to them, they struggle. They do. Celtics struggle. And so I need the Celtics to come out here and be on their A game. We're going to talk about a little game plan and what they need to do to win for sure coming up or whatnot. Let's go over to the injury report. Celtics will be without center Kristaps Porzingis. All right, he's still out with that foot injury. Good news is he is mounting a comeback. He's practicing with the main Celtics and things like that. So he is out there. He's rehabbing, and they're ramping it up, and he might be good to go. Wait, it's almost December. It's so crazy how time has flown. December is literally a couple of weeks away, literally a week away. And so I think Kristaps Porzingis will be playing very soon and very shortly. Also, hold on one second. The Washington Wizards will be without some players as well. And Saddiq Bey, I don't know if you guys know about Saddiq Bey, but Saddiq Bey always gives the Boston Celtics fits. So, he's not going to be playing in this game, which is really good for the Boston Celtics. It doesn't matter, what team he's playing on. It just doesn't matter. Saddiq Bey, their small forward, with the knee injury, he has been ruled out of this game. Tristan Vukcevic, he has a knee injury. He's questionable. And then, small forward, hold on, I want to make sure I get his name right. Small forward, Bilal, that's his first name, all right? I don't know why I have all these typos or whatnot. So Bilal, let's see if we can get his last name right. Coulibaly. Bilal Coulibaly, he has a concussion. He has been listed as questionable, so there's a possibility that he may be available and playing on tonight. But the Celtics look like they're going to be in full swing. They haven't ruled anybody out as of yet. The Celtics are well rested. They're coming off a few days of rest, so I'm expecting that starting lineup to be that starting lineup. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford at the 5. All right, that's what I'm expecting that lineup to be out there on today. Looking at the Washington Wizards starting lineup, it's going to be point guard Bub Carrington, Jordan Poole, Bilal Coulibaly, if he is cleared to play, Kyle Kuzma and Alex Starr, their center. Two players that I want to circle on in their starting 5. You got to take care of Jordan Poole. He's a scorer and he can get to the basket. He can shoot. And then Kyle Kuzma will be another player that you don't want to see really get off on tonight, coming off the injuries and trying to get himself back into a rhythm. So the Celtics need to make sure that they take care of their 2 star players or whatnot, and make sure that they keep their scoring to a minimum, play really good defense, and things like that. And so just previewing the game, again, Celtics have the opportunity, if we're talking NBA Cup, to really get the win, number one, but it's how they win this game. If this game comes down to a close game, then it's going to make the Celtics' chances in the NBA Cup. Even though they'll get the win, we're trying to get that number 1 seed and whatnot, because if Atlanta loses, remember, if the Celtics and the Hawks finish with the same record at the end of the NBA Cup tournament and they have to play, that point differential is right now is at 1. Remember, we didn't lose to them by a lot. But this game right here can change some things up for the Boston Celtics. So we'll see how they do as far as the game. Now, just previewing the game, the Celtics are on the road, and there's a possibility that the Washington Wizards come out, they ball hard, they're looking to snap a 9-game losing streak, right? And why not do it against the world champs? Everybody's going to give the champions their best A game. And that's why when I look at the Boston Celtics, I'm saying to myself, y'all got to be on y'all P's and Q's. I know that's old school, but they got to be on point. They got to be on fleek, on point, on everything. Energy, everything. Everything's got to be set. If the Celtics come out here, set the tone, it should be all right. When I'm thinking of what the game plan needs to be, I got 3 things that the Celtics need to do. Number 1 needs to start off with the energy. The energy from the Boston Celtics in this game will change. It will set the tone, and it will allow the Celtics to dictate and control how this game pretty much goes out offensively and defensively. What are some key things we know that the Boston Celtics are going to do? Well, they're going to come out and they're going to shoot threes. So they're going to come out and shoot their 3-point shot. We know that's what the Boston Celtics is going to do. They're going to come out and they're going to shoot their 3-point shot. Now, if they're missing their 3-point shots, things like that, it can change up a lot of what the Celtics do, because now they got to rebound. They got to make sure they get these offensive rebounds. I don't think that the Washington Wizards and their bigs are as dominant as some of the bigs that we've played, so rebounding shouldn't be much of an issue for the Boston Celtics. I'm not telling them to change up their game plan as far as shooting the threes. This may be a game where they jack up 60, 70 threes in this game, especially if they're going in. The issue is if they're not going in, then the Boston Celtics need to switch the game plan from the 3-point shot to attacking the basket. Force them to get them into foul trouble early. Force those guys, because once you take the 2 stars out of the game, once you get Jordan Poole, and that's why I said attack, you know what I'm saying? Attack, attack, attack. Once you take Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma out of the game, who are going to be looking to move the ball, who are going to be looking to score, it's going to be hard for them to manufacture points. I don't think their bench is going to be able to give them what they need to handle what the Boston Celtics usually puts out there night in and night out on the basketball court. This game doesn't even have to come down to the starting 5 of the Boston Celtics, but definitely everybody has to play their role. So number 1, energy will set the tone, because energy for me will say, we've watched the Celtics play before. You watch the Boston Celtics go out there and they just like slow, lackadaisical, playing with their food, energy low. There's no reason why the energy should be low. Even if they do come out and start shooting and then can't hit a shot, even if their first 10 shots are threes and they go 0 for 10, they can't change the energy that they play with, because they're going to have to find a way to claw back into this game, especially when we get to that number 2 thing, transition defense. If the Celtics shoot and they miss, they need to get back on defense ASAP, because I know that Poole and Kuzma, they're looking to push the ball, set the tempo, and score. Transitions where the Boston Celtics struggle, for sure. Now, I got a couple of other things I want to talk about, but transition D is probably one of, not statistically, but it's an area that they definitely need to get back. They need to focus on, because once the Celtics miss a shot, they act like the world is about to come to an end. Nah, get back on defense, man. Play defense, run back there. Don't give up any easy points to the Washington Wizards. Don't let them feel like this is going to be a game. Control the game. Transition defense is going to be key. Shoot straight up. Now, with transition defense, the Boston Celtics do turn the ball over. And it's not that they have a lot of turnovers, but they need to find a way to limit those, because usually the Boston Celtics turnovers lead to transition points, which means their transition defense is off. So it's not just from missing shots. Transition defense has to kick in turnovers, shots missed, things like that. Celtics need to just, if they shoot and it doesn't go, whether it goes in or it doesn't go in, don't stand there and look at it. Get your butt back on defense and be ready to defend for them shooting the ball so that you can get your transition out working. Boston Celtics get out in transition, this game is a wrap, because the number 1 thing they're going to do is shoot, and the number 2 thing they're going to do is attack and try to draw as many fouls as they can. So the Celtics really can control this game with the 2-11 Wizards. It's not much of a game. The only way the Celtics will lose this game, in my opinion, you could call me crazy, but the only way I feel like the Celtics will lose this game is if they go out there, number 1, play with their food, and number 2, act like this team is nothing. Don't let this team come out here and start shooting. What if the Washington Wizards come out and they shoot 50% from the floor? Celtics got to find a way to keep this game a game. You don't want to have to struggle and climb uphill all game. Boston Celtics are the dominant team. They're the team that's probably one of the most feared teams in the NBA, if not the most feared teams. They are the reigning champs. I understand that the Cavs have a great record. I understand that the Celtics lost to the Indiana Pacers, the Golden State Warriors, and we're not going to talk about the other loss, but we understand that the Celtics have a few losses in the NBA on nights. But the way I look at basketball, it's like any other. It's like from a football mind, it's like any given Sunday. Which Celtics team is going to show up? And it's not that the Celtics are bad. They just sometimes play off of bad tendencies. And when they play off bad tendencies, their energy ends up being low. They don't get back on transition defense. And the number one thing that they need to be doing is finding ways to attack the basket. And it doesn't have to be with the three-point shot. I would like to see, in my opinion, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard off the bench, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Al Horford. Attack these dudes. You don't got to sit there and fall back. Now, if your three-point shot is falling, I mean, if the three is falling, then the three is falling. You know what I mean? Now, the Celtics are 1-0 against the Washington Wizards this year. They beat them by 20. 122 to 102 right here in Washington, D.C. So it's not like the Celtics struggle against the Wizards. It's if the Celtics struggle against themselves. That's kind of what I get out of the Boston Celtics. The last time these two teams played October 24th, Jaylen Brown led the team with 27 points. Got 27 from Brown, 25 from Tatum. Al Horford didn't score. Al Horford looks like he's coming back into his own. Al Horford may be a key piece in this game. Derek White had 19. Drew Holiday had 7. The bench, Cornette gave him 4 off the bench. Peyton Pritchard, though, had a game. That was 15 off the bench. You got 8 from Tillman. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Joe Mazzulla kind of goes with like this same particular type of matchup lineup. Because when I look at what the Wizards did, Koulibaly gave him 8 points. Kuzma, 12. Sarr, 2. Jordan Poole, 26. That's your score right there. That's your score. Now, expect your bench to be rotating with the bigs. Now, Jonas Valanciunas, he's going to get out there. He gave him 18 points. And the Celtics find a way to struggle against bigs with that soft touch around the rim. And it looks like he had that soft touch around the rim. When Pirtle went to work on the Boston Celtics, the dude wouldn't miss. It was just a soft touch. I don't get that from Alexander Sarr, but you may get that from Jonas. He may be able to come out there, be a nice little spark off the bench. He was their leading scorer off the bench, now that I think about it. And then they're going to use their bench. Their bench is deep, and they're going to go into their bench. They definitely will go into their bench, the Washington Wizards. But the Celtics still found a way to win this game by 20 points on the road back in good old October. All right. So I expect the Celtics to look to do it again. Celtics need to go out there, don't play with their food, handle their business, get this win, improve to 2-1 for the NBA Cup, improve to 13-3 for an overall record. And then they got to head out. They got some big games coming up, right? They head back home. They got some big games coming up. Look, the Celtics are a great team. They need to act like a great team. The thing that I like about the Celtics the most as of right now, they got a chance to bond as a team together, being in D.C., going to the White House, fraternizing as brothers. That was great because now when they get out on the basketball court, they can be about their business. My score prediction for the game before I jump off here, man, and shout out to everybody out there. Thanks for watching Celtics World Podcast. My score prediction. And feel free, make sure you comment your score prediction in the comment section of the show. All right? Make sure you comment your score prediction in the comment section of the show. Matter of fact, I'll do a score prediction giveaway. All right? We'll do a score prediction. Whoever gets the score right, Whoever gets the score right, not the closest, but the score right, I will personally purchase you a Celtics hat from Celtics.com or NBA.com, all right? So I'll purchase you something from the Celtics, all right? And all you got to do is make sure you share this joint and get a person to subscribe to the channel, all right? So we'll do that. Score prediction, I think that the Celtics win 130 to 110. Still a 20-point game. They give up 8 more points, but they score 8 more points. So same differential. It was 122 to 102. I'm going 130, 110, Boston Celtics, and then they head home, and then they got to face, it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough. But the Celtics are dominant. They know what to do. They're playing really good. Jason Tatum is playing MVP caliber basketball. Jaylen Brown's playing MVP caliber basketball. The Celtics are playing MVP caliber basketball. Yeah, the whole damn team is. I like what I see from the Boston Celtics. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment your score predictions on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Celtics World. You guys know I love y'all, right? Just say it.